On this episode of Ice Vikings.
What the hell? You all right?
Oh no, not the jeez. Couldn't get goddamn worse.
This day's turned out to be a total waste of time. We screw around and screw around. Come over there.
God damn, how do we forget the auger? What are we gonna do, chop all the holes? This is gonna be a hard day.
Fishing blows. Got a sheet of clear ice here. You don't have it picked and it's just a nightmare. Just spinning the whole time.
You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Why do you want to come out in 40 below and push it? Woo!
That is very good fishing.
It is worth it if you're catching fish.
That's the smell of money, baby.
Just another day in paradise, living the dream.
Okay, I guess we'll go to the place where we crossed yesterday.
It's mid-fishing season and Richard Bjarnason is eager to start his day on the ice.
Son. I guess we can put the cables on. Ah, Christ. The positive should be here. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wrong way.
Okay. Come on, give me a fire. Jesus Christ. I might have to put some gas into the carburetor. And a little bit of liquid fire. Jesus.
This is all rough ice.
Ah, Jesus. We'll try to make a scoot for the northeast here. There might be some good ice over there. I can see it's a little flatter there. I know further north it looks like better ice, but there's some guys there already.
Now only weeks into the winter fishing season, Richard and Mike are out setting nets.
This is a new crack here, and she opened up about maybe 7-8 days ago.
With the Bombardier not ready, they head out on their snowmobile. The plan is to set 10 nets. Just days ago, equipment issues and a potentially dangerous fall made for a disastrous outing.
I just changed the socks and it wasn't the first time I put my foot in the hole. Just got some tingling sensation and it was a little raw.
There'll be rough ice underneath her. Jesus Christ. Get the hell over it.
Now they are facing new problems.
Okay, then I'll find her.
Yeah. I'm jigging the first net now. These are about 100 yards, I think.
Once again, it's bitterly cold.
She good?
This is where we ran into thin ice last week. Even though it's bitterly cold, the lake's still constantly shifting. You can see where this crack is here.
On Husavik Bay, Mike Lenton and Justin Gerbrandt struggle with dangerous ice conditions.
About 5 days ago, we set 3 nets. The plan was to keep on trucking for another 10 nets at least here. And we're just checking as we go, drilling some holes. And all of a sudden, I went from 10, 11 inches to 3 inches. So there's about 100 yards of very unsafe ice. So we just halted the whole setting process for a few days.
A blast of Arctic air has now made the ice safe to travel on.
Nothing wants to work when it's this cold.
It's been 4 days of minus 30. Finding the spot was the most important thing today. If we can find a spot and even get a half a dozen in, that's a pretty good day. But this is how it always goes at the beginning. You gotta spend some time and make sure it's safe. You can't afford to lose someone's life or equipment out here.
They now are setting their nets 7 miles from shore as other fishing teams are closing in on their turf.
There's a few other guys you can see to the south of us. They don't like to go far out. The farther we go, the less chance of seeing anyone there is, and therefore probably the fishing is better. And there's also more current and deeper water.
That ice is way deeper than I thought, a couple feet. See how deep we are.
Oh, 25 feet. That's good.
Yeah. This is our high-tech tool for setting nets. It's a 2x8 piece of cedar. As I pull this rope, this picks on the ice and shoots this board forward. He has to look for it so we know where to drill.
You can actually see the arm coming up. Normally, I can't see it. Normally, the whole lake's full of snow by now, so I had to listen for it. This is just icing on the cake today.
The nets are set in what's called a gang, with each net connected to the next one. This is done so the nets can be pulled up in sequence.
Today's a little colder than normal. Minus 38 with the wind chill this morning. And hopefully, we jig this out the right length, you'll have the other end sticking out of that hole. This is the cold part, waiting. See, and you gotta double check people's work because he tied this wrong. This would eventually just slip off. You tied your knot wrong, so I showed the cameraman.
I tied the knot wrong?
Yeah.
Fire me.
The rapid freeze-up has created rough ice below.
We try and jig through it no matter what, because the last thing we want to do is have a gap in the nets. We want to keep this continuous run of 10 nets going here. You never know what's below the ice, if it's froze solid or not. The jigger's pretty resilient. It'll bounce off the odd piece of ice, but if it's a shelf of ice, then there'll be no go. Well, my legs are starting to get cold, so that's what I know it's a cold day out here. Is that where it is? Yeah. You can tell we're bouncing off something there. Definitely hitting ice, that's for sure.
The jigger has not made it to its target. It may be stuck in the jagged ice below.
You're so close, you're like 6 feet away from getting through
I know,
this.
I can feel it banging, but it's not going now. I can't get it through. This is the issue. When you're setting on thin ice like this, cracks all over the lake this year, you jig it halfway and then it doesn't go through. This is like before. I don't know why it won't go through that little bit.
Like you got through all that big stuff.
A stuck jigger means no net, which also means no fish.
We just clearly can't get through where we want to keep our line going here. I'll have to pull this back, pull the jigger out. We'll move over this crack now and have to find an area where we can potentially add on more nets on a cold day like this. So this is what you don't want to be doing because this is just soaking wet. So now everything will be frozen solid.
Impossibly cold temperatures and rough ice below. The guys have wasted their day.
Probably underneath it was like a piece sticking like this or something, and it kind of got hung up.
And this is when you contemplate life.
Near the beginning of the highly competitive winter fishing season on Lake Winnipeg, Trevor Christensen has bragging rights as the first fisherman on the ice this season.
Holy oh, here, it's Danny. No, no, you're not fired. I'm still sick. I haven't been working for about a whole week now. I might go out tomorrow, and if I do, then we'll have work, you know, pretty much all of next week. But
Now he and his crew are falling behind. Recovering from the flu can't come fast enough.
well, we're at my house right now. It's almost bittersweet because I can see some of my nets and the lake from the backyard, but also there's nothing I can do right now. So, yeah, we're just pretty much chilling.
I don't know, it's just funny.
We're kind of effed up, behind on everything. Pretty much everybody else is sick too. Like a bunch of the employees are sick, and me and Devin are sick, and my dad is, but
Joel was just sick too, and he just finished getting sick before we got sick.
Yeah. So we've been taking turns.
Trevor's family, the Christensens, have fished Lake Winnipeg for 5 generations. But this year is different. Trevor is striking out on his own.
It is a big season. It's definitely a transition period for me, especially where I think I'm moving on to bigger things, I hope.
You know, I've kind of separated from my dad's crew, which has been good for me. It's a lot more stressful, though.
I'm looking to purchase more quota and equipment, and I'm a fish dealer now, so I'm able to buy other fishermen's fish and make extra revenue that way.
I finally kind of see what an undertaking it is when you're the boss.
When I first started working for him, obviously I had no experience, and so I did learn a lot from him. He's not like a little dainty instrument. He's definitely a hammer. You learn from him fast, and if you don't, then you're not gonna make it, really.
Unhook it! Unhook it! We can't figure it out. Unhook it!
With all my nets, I can't really send out somebody to go do them for me. I could maybe get my dad to, but he's way too busy with his own stuff. For now, I'm just kind of screwed. Like, I have to just wait until I'm barely good enough to work again, and then I'm gonna get on the lake and catch up. Yeah, it's a little tough. And there's still that element of competition between me and my dad. I think in a way he's not happy that I'm sick, but I think he feels accomplished that he's still working. He's not sick, right? Whereas I'm falling behind.
Really hard working conditions when you get a snowfall like this. Makes everything a lot tougher until we get the Bombardier out here.
Near Gimli, Gene and Candace Pischke struggle with heavy snow.
It was snowing, sticky snow. The sleigh runners don't want to slide very well, and they just want to stick, and you're stuck, and you're frustrated.
What's our goal for today?
What the hell do you mean goal for today? I just like to get the day done and over with. It's bullshit snow, so much of it. We're not really equipped for it, but we're out here fishing anyway. We had a bad day on the lake yesterday. Today seems better already. I'm kind of old school. I get grumpy, and I irritated a lot, but she keeps me in line. She's the only one that can put up with me. I had plan A, B, and C, and we ended up going with D. Plan D was shut my mouth and get to it. That's what Candace always tells me.
I don't see the purpose in complaining. It doesn't solve anything. By complaining, it's really bad.
There's your master angler. You don't get paid as much for them.
Hey, see, we don't really catch that many of those big jumbo ones.
Fish companies are looking for about this size here, your medium pickerel.
Lake Winnipeg is home to many types of fish, with over 15 species. The fish with the highest market value is walleye, also known as pickerel. But other species such as whitefish, yellow perch, goldeye, and northern pike hold value as well. Tullibee is also common, but practically worthless in the winter season.
Beautiful stuff. 3 3/4 inch and your medium pickerel. Usually a box like that's about $150. So if we get 6 of them, that'd be $900.
Your face is froze.
Well, you know what I'll tell you? I won't be gracing any covers, so doesn't really matter.
Oh, but you graced my cover.
Frostbite is a constant danger on bitterly cold days.
It's a cool, crisp day. Tiring walking around in sand all day, basically. That's what the snow is like. But we sure needed it.
Now we can bring that bomber out.
It's Bombardier time. This snow sucks. That's when you want a big gasoline engine pushing you along, not a small two-stroke.
Makes work a lot easier.
In winter, the backbone of commercial fishing on Lake Winnipeg is the Bombardier B12, otherwise known as the Bomber. Built between the 1940s to 1970s, early versions were made of wood, while later models were constructed out of steel. Its rear-mounted engine-over-track design means it can power through the thickest snow and cross or climb over large cracks in the ice. Purpose-built for the Canadian North, they weigh over 1,500 kilograms and can haul over a ton of cargo while still reaching top speeds of 70 kilometers per hour. It takes a true ice Viking to appreciate the crude charm of this noisy Cold War relic.
These Bombardiers, they're from the 50s. They're old, they're rusty, they break. 50, 60, 70-year-old machines, they're just set up to go.
Mine is my age, 50 years old now. Anything can go wrong. I've had a lot of work done to it.
There's not a lot of people who have them. There's not a lot of people who work on them. I mean, it's older technology. It's good because you can fix it. So they're not really like anything else, you know, like most of them don't even have brakes. They're meant for one thing, and that's for traveling on the ice and the snow, and they're not the ideal vehicle for any other application.
Well, I'm just kind of like part of the family. It's like your pet cat or dog. She doesn't really have a name, but we refer to it as she. She's our lady. Candace's lady.
Until somebody comes along with something else that flies by me with a bunch of fish in it, while I'm going, what the hell was that? I'm gonna keep putting a bolt on, putting a weld on, and keep putting Band-Aids over duct tape to keep these things rolling down the road. It works.
Okay, she's here. She's here.
Richard Bjarnason has found the jigger under the ice. He and son Mike have their sights on setting 10 nets today.
Jesus. I have to warm up my hands here.
Setting the second net now.
Right now, she's pretty nippy. When it switches into the south, first thing, the coldest when you can get first few hours, because there's like moisture.
As the wind picks up, the moist air begins to feel that much colder.
You never know about the weather. Jesus.
Then, big trouble below.
Jeez. Jesus. What the hell? Jeez. Jesus. Pulled her. Caught on the goddamn jigger. Jeez. The jigger stuck. Christ. Oh, my God.
Richard and Mike are fighting to remove their jigger from the rough ice below.
Now this is going to be fun.
The net has also wrapped itself around the jigger.
Caught on the goddamn jigger. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Okay, try again. Jeez, man, I never had this happen to me before. A jigger, that's happened to me before, but not with a net in it. Oh no.
Got it in the middle.
Not the darn. Jeez. Couldn't get goddamn worse. We got the middle of the jigger. If we would have got the very end of it, we could have pulled her straight up. But this bar is pretty well centered, and that's no good. We'll have to put her down again and then try to straighten her out so we can get the end.
Whew. Now the wind's coming up. Holy sh! You can feel it from the south there. Oh, it's getting raw.
Now we're gonna have to try to push the jigger ahead, try to get the back end so we can get her up. She's laying like this underneath the ice. Once you get the end, the hole's here and the end's here, and then she'll pop right up. Oh, gee.
Probably at least minus 30 out there with no windshield today. I'm just warming up these motors, like they're electric motors, so everything at minus 40 is very temperamental out here.
Over at Husavik Bay, Justin and Mike are struggling with equipment breakdowns and piercing cold temperatures.
Yeah, on these cold temperatures, we've had some days where it just won't start. Normally it starts first pull, but it's so stiff it doesn't even want to turn over. Oh. I rolled this thing the other day, so it's seen better days. Taking a beating the last few days, so kind of worried this morning that maybe it wasn't going to go. We had some issues with it earlier, so. See, where are they now? Nothing. I don't get it. We lifted this net over there. Exact same size, same mesh tank, and now here, no pickerel at all.
They're also struggling with poor fishing.
There's nothing in that one. Completely empty. 5 fish.
A new location might be the answer.
We've been fishing this side of the gang for too long now, so as I'm drilling through, I'm hitting old holes, so it's flooding, which makes that lifter get stuck. Shouldn't be any water coming up. Second issue is it's getting harder and harder to push down with these gears. I'm missing a bunch of teeth, so trying to fight through an old hole is harder on the auger as I'm trying to force it down.
Drilling through old holes floods the ice surface, freezing the auger in place. Just another element for the guys to battle.
There's 2 gears that the rack runs on that the auger is attached to. That's how we raise and lower the auger. And I just took a look in there, and there's a bunch of teeth missing on the gears. So if any more of those teeth break, then the auger will be stuck in there.
Oh, that thing's
What?
It is.
What?
I got stuck drilling because I have to flood the hole so bad because it doesn't go down because there's no teeth left. I'll have to lift that through today, and then we're not fishing tomorrow. I had to use the chain to pull myself out of the hole. That's how bad I flooded.
Like actually?
Yeah. So I'm stuck with the auger because I got a foot of water I'm drilling. I'm drilling through an old hole with no teeth and a raft.
Perfect.
When I start using a chain to pull myself out with an auger, that's the end of my drilling. Or you can...
Well, I can cheer you up. I got 3 pickerel out of that net.
That's it? This day's turned out to be a total waste of time like yesterday. We screw around and screw around. Come over now.
The auger is in dire need of repair. It's going to cost the guys time and money.
We're gonna have to probably cancel fishing tomorrow and start tearing that thing down, and then on Monday, hopefully contact the welder and see if he can start working on it. And when he says it's ready, is the next day we can fish.
We were gonna set 12, that was the goal, but having some troubles with, we hit the middle of the jigger.
Richard and Mike Bjarnason struggle to free their jigger from the rough ice.
The bar's stuck and then the net's stuck. It's tangled in there.
It's been hours.
What are we gonna have to do?
We're gonna have to dig out more yet.
Just dig a bigger hole, I guess.
It's over 3 feet. Jeez. Straight down and then up. Okay. You got it. Oh. Okay, Claire, no. Oh. Okay. There, that son of a bitch.
After almost 2 hours, the jigger is free.
God. Mike. God, sure. Gee.
They need to set more nets, with no chance of reaching their goal of 12 for today.
Let's see. We'll go over here.
Guess we're good to go.
Okay, let's get out of here.
We've got a few nets in here and we're trying to catch up since everybody was sick.
On Chris's second Bombardier trip out in the Narrows, and Devin and Joel finally recovered from the flu, Chris learns he's missing a critical piece of equipment.
Well, what do we do? God damn, how do we forget the auger?
We have 2 spirals on the blue Bombardier. So when we came in and I hooked on to take the other blue Bombardier to the shop, I left a spiral inside the Bombardier. Usually I have a spot on the outside of the Bombardier. I should have noticed that I didn't have a spiral.
With no auger blade on board, there's only one way to keep fishing.
Chop!
What are we gonna do, chop all the holes? Yeah. Serious? This is gonna be a hard day.
I'll see if there's a shovel.
No fucking shovel anywhere. What the do you find that? It must have been buried under everything.
Move. Back of the hole. It's chop.
Chris calls his father Robert for help finding an auger.
I don't have one. I left it in the blue Bombardier when I took it to the repair shop. Just call me when you're on shore and we'll come and get it. So my dad's gonna pick it up for me at the shop where the other Bombardier is and do an emergency augerectomy.
Catching the fish is just a part of it. Helping each other out and learning that you need to help each other out is probably the biggest thing that we all have to learn.
We're gonna push along, see what we can do here. If that means we gotta chop a hole, we'll probably remember it next time.
Never put all your eggs in one basket. Same with augers.
Just call me when you're on shore and we'll come and get it. We got an 86-year-old elder breaking the speed limit right now just to get us an auger.
Chris has made an emergency call to his dad to bring in an auger. In the meantime, the crew is stuck making holes the old-fashioned way.
It's a change of the routine. You know, as soon as you change out of a routine, things just go f***ing silly.
And now we're having to do it the old-fashioned way. Chip the holes open. Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass, as you can see right there. It's getting caught, and the net is getting caught all over the place underneath the ice.
Chisel. There's probably a lot of jagged edges on the bottom of the hole.
And we're just trying to kind of get it the right way so it'll break free. You could destroy the nets, and you could try pulling this thing out of the water. It still gets stuck underneath the ice, and it'll just drag on there for a while. We really wouldn't have this problem, you know, if we didn't forget the auger.
Okay, stay on that hole. Shovel it out, Devin. Stay close to that hole. Don't dance around. Because you start Swiss cheesing it, it makes it just more difficult.
More chops?
Take it out.
More chops?
What's a chip? What's a chipper? Just call it. It'll come. Here, chipper. It's right beside the auger.
Yeah, you gotta stop drinking that whiskey.
An hour and 5 minutes since I phoned him.
We should be here soon.
Okay, Dustin, you ready?
No. Man, I hate lifting this.
Okay. Well, get it up.
Ready?
1, 2, 3. Oh!
Justin and Mike have torn down their damaged auger.
Look how bent that is from here.
Only now do they realize the extent of the damage.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have to straighten that. That day it broke. It was probably minus 35. It doesn't help because more ice freezes to the auger and the rack, and it's just more weight to crank up and down.
Cold just breaks everything. Everything seems to be more brittle. So you try to be very careful when it's cold, but you still got to work. You still got to fish. And every time it's like a minus 30 day, I just close my eyes when Mike starts drilling. That please don't let that auger smash to pieces.
It's bent here. You can see how the angle of the hitch is completely off. This rod should be straight. But when the steering wheel turns, this gear turns. It'll rotate, and then it rides on this rack.
Those gears aren't moving that rack up and down. We can't get the bit out of the hole once we start drilling. So if we lose that bit, that's almost $1,000.
Without this, there's no fishing. We're already up to about 2.5 feet of ice, 3 feet of ice, so we rely on the sleigh auger to lift the nets every day.
Now it's off to Camarno to see about repairs.
This is where we bring all of our broken equipment for fishing and for all of the trailers and stuff like that. He's a pretty good fabricator and a good welder, so if there's anything that we want that needs to be real tough or beefed up, we bring it to this guy, and he does great work. Those 2 gears Well, you'll see when you take this apart, like the teeth break off.
Okay.
So they have to be indexed, like in the same spot as the rack.
Yeah, it's got to be timed.
Yeah, and then this. I rolled it now. The pushing our luck question. Do you think Wednesday's doable?
Yeah, Wednesday's fine.
Okay. All right, Bruce, that's
why we come to Camarno.
Yeah. Right on, Bruce, thanks.
The cost of repairs and having the auger down for 3 days means thousands of dollars out of their pockets.
Too much sugar in that coffee this morning. You want me to go grab it from him?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take one of these sleds.
Careful on the teeth, eh, Devin?
Yeah.
Chris's father, Robert, has arrived with the desperately needed auger.
Devin's gonna meet him on shore, then we don't have to chop. We can go back to the power auger. Here he comes! Here comes our auger. We're back in business. Now we're gonna see how much easier it is to have an auger than not.
This thing over here.
It's rubbing the ice off my shaft. Yay!
Uh-oh. I know.
We got issues. Uh-huh. Maybe we'll be needle barring yet.
Seriously? It's not gonna start?
Doesn't sound like it's firing right. And I know it's filled with fuel.
I think you have to adapt. Maybe that's the key word of the whole winter. The dinosaurs never adapted. What the hell happened to them?
Fix it. Gonna try.
Even if you go 3 steps back, go 4 steps forward. You can have the machine broken in pieces. What are you gonna do? No one's gonna come and fix it. Fix it.
What if they make snowmobiles for the winter? It's cold. If there's any moisture, condensation, water don't burn.
This time, the solution is at hand.
Sleigh auger. I had a spare plug. Luckily, I had a spare plug in my lunch kit. See if that's what's in my lunch. What do you got for lunch? Spark plugs? Okay, Joel. Change the plug. Good to go.
Fix it, keep moving forward until there's nothing left to fix, and then buy something else to fix.
Stage just gets better and better.
Until the next location.
You left it there last time. You told us to leave it there.
Who left it?
More auger issues.
You're the one that said leave that there.
So who left it there?
Us.
Who's us?
You. You left it there last time. You told us to leave it there.
Stuck on the ice without an auger, one has finally arrived. But now, the blame game has begun.
So who left it there?
Us.
Who's us?
You.
Chris Christensen makes a surprise discovery on the ice.
I was driving ahead and I says, boys, look at that tub ahead. And they said, what tub? That cracked tub. I said, it's not a cracked tub. They looked again. I said, there's something behind the tub. What? The auger. What? I guess the last time we were out here, we left one of the augers on the ice. So I just sent my dad to town to bring me an auger, and I don't want to tell him. He's gonna find out. I don't know if I feel worse that we had to needle bar the holes or feel stupid that I forgot that there's one on the ice. So now I got too many augers. I have a dilemma. Oh, you gotta laugh, because what the hell? You guys are obviously stupid.
Hey, you're the one that hired us, so what does that make you?
I don't want my dad not to think that he wasn't our hero.
He was not the hero we needed, but he was the hero we deserved.
Good to be around young guys. Makes you feel young again. Hey, boys, let's take the auger off.
Which one?
We should tie it to you so you don't forget it next time.
Yeah, look who's talking. Hey, I guess if you're doing something you like to do, it doesn't feel like work. And besides, I don't know how to do anything else.
All right, let's get this beast warmed up a little bit and load her up.
We're hauling it into town, getting ready to go out. It's time for Bombardier, so we need it.
With the ice thick enough and a fresh layer of snow, Jean and Candace decide to take their Bombardier for a rip.
It just makes everything easier. The fish don't freeze, it's nice and warm inside the Bombardier, and just to keep the quality of the fish really good, too.
We're going out tomorrow and keeping an eye out for cracks, flat cracks and this and that, and hopefully we don't hit no rough ice because you can crack a rim or wreck a ski. And there's lots of hidden rough ice out there now with all this snow that we got, but we'll do it. All right, on. Finished.
Good to go.
Finally recovered from the flu, Trevor Christensen is able to check his nets.
I've missed the last week, 8 days. Been sick with the flu, and I'm finally back now, so got lots of work to catch up on. And today is pretty cold. It's minus 42 Celsius with the wind chill. It's not the kind of day I really want to be out here, but there's nothing much I can do. See if I can get on our trail here. It's been a while. It's been snowing and blowing. All of our trails are blown over now. Honestly, I can't afford to be sick all winter, you know? Like, if I keep getting behind, I'm kind of screwed. Looks like a beautiful morning, but it's very cold.
Oh, it's just night and day difference. Having the Bombardier to work with is so much better. I mean, it keeps the fish warm so it can be dealt with and you're not dealing with frozen fish. Keeps me warm, blocks the wind from me and Riley and whoever else when we're out here pulling back. And it's just a lot easier to use than being out here on snowmobiles. This is a very old school belt drive auger, which you'll see on a lot of the older Bombardiers. A lot of guys now have switched over to using like a little Honda engine on top, and it's separate from the Bombardier. Whereas this one runs off a PTO. So the PTO is basically that little black wheel on the back that spins, which is connected to the engine. It's super dangerous because it's always there spinning when the engine's running.
This is the old school way of doing it. It is pretty dangerous. You do have to be really careful around it. There's a lot of ice. It is pretty bitterly cold today. It's the kind of day I wouldn't want to be out if I didn't have to be out. Like, it's minus 42 Celsius with the wind chill right now. It's very cold. If you're not moving constantly, everything just freezes. Everything's freezing to each other. These nets aren't definitely as good as they were at the start of the season.
I was hoping for about a box of fish to the net. It wasn't close to that, really. It was about half that.
After a long layoff, Trevor isn't happy with today's catch.
If I can lift these 6 and even get 2 boxes out of it, I'd be happy with that.
But bad fishing isn't his only worry.
We've been a little short-staffed lately as well. One of my dad's employees actually quit on him last week, so I think this guy was just a little sick of working with my dad, and I can understand the feeling.
I've been doing my own thing now for a little bit, and so is my dad. So we're both working in kind of separate directions. And it can make things tough because we're kind of sharing certain employees and resources. Like every day, I've got to talk to my dad and make sure that we have the next day planned out so that we're not stepping on each other's toes.
So far, for the end of this getting here, the fish is terrible. We're not even hitting our half a ton minimum that we need.
Fishing blows.
With their auger fixed, Mike and Justin are back on the ice, so far with disappointing results.
The area you picked here sure dried up. Yeah. This is making no money. We have another gang about 1.5 miles further out. It can change that quickly, so hopefully the gang out there is going to produce a bit more. By the time you get all the equipment loaded up, like the auger repairs we went through last week, we just got back, the fuel, the time, we're spending the whole day to come out here to get a couple tons of fish. It's not worth it.
We're about 1.5 miles further straight east. This net is terrible. We already drilled another hole, so we'll probably do 1 more net and then leave the rest of this gang a couple more days. Hopefully there's a little bit more. It's a lot of work when there's no fish to drill and pull these.
To make matters worse, another mechanical issue has emerged.
If you look over here, you can see a puddle of fuel sitting underneath at the bottom here. You can't really access the carburetors on this thing till I take this top piece off, which can't be done out here. I definitely say I have a leak in the carburetor somewhere. Shouldn't be any fuel underneath the motor.
It's another discouraging day.
Every day, repair. Yeah. Every day. I noticed when I was drilling a hole, I could see a little bit of mixed gas laying on the snow. When I was looking underneath, I can see a little puddle of fuel, so it has to be leaking somewhere from the car. It's inevitable. It's gonna have to go home and take it apart, see what's wrong. A day on the lake equals a day of repair. That's how the winter seems to be going so far. The auger the other day, now today's a sled.
We got a big dumping of snow, and it was really hard to move around with the caboose. The machine just couldn't pull it, so it was Bombardier time, and it is so nice having it out there.
Candace leads Gene out onto the ice for their first bomber run of the season. Fishing has been good so far, and the Bombardier should make things easier.
And get the pin and wrenches and the hammer.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta get it down now.
Down. Up. Okay.
What the hell? You all right? What the hell? You all right?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Did I get your hand? Come on.
So I'm just gonna sit here.
Sit.
Yeah.
The first bomber trip for Jean and Candace is off to a bad start.
Get your finger?
I think so, yeah. That's a little bit. I didn't think you did, but I'm all right. I'm all right. Yeah.
Need a minute?
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit here right now. Just let it pass. I'll be fine. I just a little woozy. I'll just take a minute and go sit.
Yeah, go sit in the Bombardier.
I felt a lot of pressure in my fingers, so I thought, oh, maybe he caught my finger. And I took my glove off and looked, and I just instantly seen a lot of blood. So I got queasy enough that actually I fainted. I don't want to look at it. It'll be all right. I mean, what's the difference? I'll be sore at home or sore here. At least get the job done today. Nothing's broken. Just got a little woozy. It'll pass now that I seen it. I didn't think he got me. I really didn't think so.
Bad day. Starting off bad. I felt the mitt underneath the hammer, but I thought her finger wasn't there in the mitt. So, okay, I looked at it and it almost split the finger. So it split out the side of the nail.
It's a close call, but Candace soon returns to help Jean lift nets.
She's tough. She's, hell, tougher than I am.
We're already set up. We're ready to go. So just keep at it.
Anything coming up?
Yeah, there's steady.
Steady's good.
Steady.
We need fish. Fish, fish, fish.
A good haul soon puts the accident behind them.
Well, it was a good day. I don't want to jinx it, I guess you could say.
It's good to not set all your nets in the same spots. You want to be in and out, different sizes of nets. And this time it really paid up for us.
We figured, what the hell, finish up today and go home. We had a good day. I'm happy with it.
Snow is picking up.
Richard and Mike are finally able to lift their nets at Moonlight Bay.
Oh, there's quite a bit.
After an unlucky day, they're hopeful for fish in these nets.
A lot better day than last time you guys came with us when we were setting. It was, that was a nightmare. Yeah, those days and just a lot of swearing.
Richard knows the weather is changing.
If the wind starts coming up, then we'll have real whiteout conditions. Right now, it's all right. She's going to be switching into the northwest.
In a whiteout, it's easy to lose your next gang of nets or your way home.
Everything feels weird. It feels like you're just floating. Like when you look back, you lose your sense of direction and just feels eerie sometimes too.
Usually what we do, we peg our path out. But this year we haven't had time. But
well, this year there was no snow. We figured there was going to be nothing, but sure coming now.
Yeah, that kind of surprised us.
Didn't think we needed a trail.
Some guys just use the GPS.
Dad's too old school.
Poor visibility and fresh snow is making conditions treacherous.
Oh, Christ. And glare ice. Oh, Christ. Just got a sheet of glare ice here and don't have it picked and it's just a nightmare. Just spinning the whole time.
Glare ice occurs when wind sweeps fresh snow across the surface, polishing it into a glass-like finish. Mike doesn't have studs in the snowmobile's track to dig into the slippery surface.
Okay.
Come on. There's about 12 inches of snow, and then underneath is just glare ice.
Richard goes back to help his son.
Jeez.
"74-year-old Richard Bjarnson tumbles on the glare ice.
I'm getting up there. You know, I'm 74. I want to just keep on doing this. The bank, that was just about it. Yeah, you can slip pretty easy. I'm used to it.
It's all glare ice and it's all that shitty soft snow too, so you can't even get any traction. Oh, lots of fun.
Despite the setbacks, Mike and Richard are happy with their catch.
You'll end up with about 8 boxes out of 10, which is excellent. Can't complain with that.
Now we go for the drive-in.
But first, a little refreshment.
Oh, refreshing, ice cold. Best water you can get.
You know, some visitors would come over and we'd give them a cup of coffee, and they said, "My God, that's the best coffee I've ever tasted." They said, "What kind of coffee is it?" He said, "It's not the coffee." I said, "It's the lake water."
Okay. Yeah, perfect.
The next day, Trevor and his crew head out early.
Right on, Pete.
That's the way to do it.
Oh, so nice.
After a rough start to his new fishing operation, things are finally looking up.
Weird, I heard there was no fish in this lake.
I do see a future in this, and I want to keep going, and I kind of want to grow and expand, and I like the feeling of being out in nature. I like catching the fish, I like processing it, and I like selling it. Like, it's all aspects of it are appealing to me.
Looking very good, looking very good.
It just makes sense for me to kind of get into it in a big way.
I might just do one more, actually. Fishing's pretty good, and I'm gonna count it up right away.
I've always kind of come back to the fishery, and maybe it is in my blood because I do like it, and I feel like I'm not bad at it.
Oh, there was a lot of catches at that last one. Holy sh**.
I do feel there's a lot of pressure on me to do things a certain way. Like, there's kind of my grandpa's way, and then there's my dad's way, and they kind of want me to fit in somewhere there. So
I think we're gonna do one more for sure, you guys.
Okay.
they're probably worried and cautious about me going out, spending a whole bunch of money or doing a bunch of unnecessary work and maybe it not paying off.
I haven't seen fishing like this in a long time.
Yeah, it's something else.
We ended up catching probably more fish than I expected, and we did it in a short amount of time, so I'm feeling really good.
At the end of the day, I think I just have to follow kind of my instinct and do what I feel is going to be best for the business in the long run. Because, I'm going to be in this for probably a while longer. And, even after they're gone, it's going to be me. So I have to do what's best for me right now. It's a hard business and a lot of uncertainty. But I'm optimistic for the future.
Next time on Ice Vikings.
Once you get into the environment, the snow and cold, everything's against you.
Maybe it was frayed. Oh, I hate when that shit happens.
Tony convince yourself to come lift empty nets for something.
Sorry to find it not funny.
We're gonna do the fish dance. Hey, this ain't working.